What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We've got Robert and Catherine Van Harris with us, so say hello. And then in the chat, if you guys could put the city where you're calling in from right now, wherever you may be, go ahead and put that in the chat, along with how many deals that you guys have done so far. And I would love to hear from you guys about that. Of course, also with us, we've got Hannah from the DealMachine marketing team, and Elise, she manages our DealMachine community. All right, so we're getting some chats. We've got Ryan from Miami, Florida, Randy from Charlotte. We've got Amy from Los Angeles, Gary from Macon, Georgia. And we've got Clinton from Tucson, Houston, Joshua Tree, California. That sounds nice. And so Robert and Catherine, your main market is actually Atlanta, but you guys have done some in the Philly market too, right?
Correct. Yeah. We're originally from Philadelphia. So that's our birthplace.
Yeah.
Got it. And what brought you guys from Philadelphia to Atlanta?
Oh man, just the land of opportunity. You know, we came here one day on a vacation. Just took a quick vacay down here, and man, just seeing that it was just a lot of land everywhere, land. And when I seen all that land, you know, we just seen opportunity. We seen dollar signs, and we was just like, man, like, you know, we need to go and start embarking on that land. That's what we need to be. So,
wow, so you guys saw a ton of land, and you were already thinking real estate. You were probably already in that mindset, right? In order to notice the land. What year was that? When was that?
2014.
Wow. Okay, great.
Yeah.
So
14.
And then so 2014, that's been 7 years now. Can't believe it. I feel like it's still mid 2000s. Would love for you guys to provide some more background about yourselves in the next 10 to 15 minutes. And then just for everyone here, we're going to bring on guests and let you guys answer some questions. And then we're going to be doing that Q&A format until 8 o'clock Eastern time. Then we're going to do a second hour of a demo of the software. So just so you guys know what to expect, if you guys have those questions, you'd want to put those in the chat, and we will actually then bring some of you on to ask it in person on the video. So with that, you've also been with DealMachine for years, Robert. Maybe not 7 years because we haven't been around that long, but tell me the story from when you moved to Atlanta to when you found DealMachine to this very last year, this most recent year.
Yeah. So basically, we made the switch from Philadelphia to Atlanta, and when we got to Atlanta, the plan was to open back up our construction company, because we had a construction company at the time. But I also was a licensed real estate agent in Philadelphia. I'm also a licensed real estate agent here in Philadelphia. In Atlanta. So I had to all I had to do was get a reciprocal. So what we did when we got to Atlanta, we said to ourselves, you know what? We're just going to embark full blown, go all the way in on just real estate. We're not going to open back up the contracting company. So long story short, you know, our plans, everything kind of switched, because our whole bread and butter, we had a whole contracting company back in Philadelphia. That was what we was making our living off of. But we was working with a lot of investors. Same the way we had it kind of structured down here, the way we sell to a lot of investors, those investors give it back to us. And then my traditional real estate company lists those properties for the investors that we sell those properties to. So it was kind of structured the same way back there, but back in Philadelphia. But here, just not really knowing nobody. We didn't have any family, no friends. Oh man, the plan totally just blew up in our face. We ended up in a hotel, me, Catherine, with our 4 kids, and my mom, you know, was with us. She was like, I'm not leaving y'all
Right.
until y'all get suited and booted. Until y'all get situated, I'm not leaving y'all. We ended up in a hotel for a little while, man, and we just had our backs up against the wall. And we just started grinding, doing what we know to do. And we just got out there and just really started hitting the streets, started, you know, making the right connections. And yeah, man, found out about DealMachine, and like it was very, you know, affordable, you know. So that was one of the things we did first. We went and downloaded the DealMachine app. I think that was like, 'cause I've been with you guys for years, man. I mean, probably around the time y'all first kicked off. What was it, like 2015, maybe 2016? You guys kicked off.
Yeah, it was 2017 that we officially became a business. So and we're put on the App Store at the beginning of 2017.
Got you,
Wow.
got you. Yeah. So we speak it all kinds of play a part then, because 2016, June of 2016 is when we got our first deal, our wholesale deal off the ground here in Atlanta. That was our first big wholesale deal.
Right.
Now, Catherine and I knew about wholesaling, but we was doing wholesaling back in Philadelphia when honestly we wasn't even calling it wholesaling then. It was just us
Put your
putting our
price
money
on
on the
top.
top. That was it. Put your price on the top, right? So yeah, we got our first deal off the ground, man, and been running ever since. Running ever since.
Wow. That's so awesome. And you guys got your first deal wholesaling after you decided your construction company wasn't something you wanted to start up again, I'm sure, because that's tough. That is a tough business,
Oh,
right? And you probably like that wholesaling was a bit simpler and it paid faster, I would imagine,
Oh my
Absolutely.
than a
goodness.
construction business.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
And what we loved the most about it was me and Catherine talk about it all the time. When it's a fire, you know, we can put it out.
Yes.
You don't have to
Have to
worry
rely
about
on
calling, or
anyone
you don't have
else
to
to put
rely
it
on
out.
nobody else. You know, we did more daggone firing than we did hiring with the
Yes.
contracting
Yes.
company,
It's
you
hard to
know?
find reliable people in that business. Truly.
Yeah, it's very difficult, man. We always say that good contractors are hard to find. Great contractors are even harder to find.
Mhm.
So when you find the good ones, you hold on to them with rubber grip. Don't let them go, guys. Keep them busy. Keep them busy.
For sure. I've experienced some of that myself, actually. You know, I have one house that has been under construction for 9 months, and that time is money,
Oh,
because you might as well, you could lose all your profits if it goes several extra months just from your holding costs. So I
Mhm. Yeah.
completely understand that.
yes. So true.
Absolutely.
So true. Yeah. Yeah.
I just got a new kitten. I'm not sure if you can hear him meowing, but
We do.
Aw.
not sure what he wants. So you guys, you've closed about 25 deals in 2020. Is that right?
No, we closed much more than 25. We closed, I mean, just with the investment business, we closed 49 deals in 2020. We closed about 25 DealMachine deals.
Got it. That's what my notes say. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. So was it any harder to close 25 versus your first one?
You know what? The first one was, no, it wasn't. The first one, man, was just like, it's one of those things where we'll remember it forever. It was smooth. It was kind of just like dropped in our lap. You know, we was actually across the street from a house that I was getting ready to list. And the neighbor came outside and called my wife over and gave us the people. She's like, hey, y'all
So you
looking
want
at
this house?
yeah, he's like, yo, you want this house next door? I'm just tired of it looking like this. I'm tired of the
Tired of
grass not
grass.
getting cut. I'm just tired of it. I'm gonna give you her number. Give her a call. So we
Right.
was like, cool. And my wife, you know, the whole time my wife talking to this lady, I'm across the street, you know, just, you know, doing, you know, real estate agent stuff, right? I'm just over there doing a walkthrough, talking to the contractors who was finishing up the project at the time. And yeah, she gave us the numbers to the owner, and we contacted. The matter of fact, we didn't even contact the owner until 2 weeks later.
Oh yeah. He
We
kind of
literally, I
slept
didn't
on
even
it.
contact. My wife came to me. Catherine came to me and was like, "Hey, did you ever reach out to the people?" And I'm like, "What people?" She's like, "The people that was next door on such and such block when we about to list the house." I was like, "Oh no, I never reached out to him." And I'll reach out to him now. And I called them up. She answered the phone. And you know, make a long story short, we was at the they had to go through like a short probate. Real quick. It happened fast. I don't know if it was already in the process or what happened, but it happened fast because like maybe 3 to 4 weeks later, and I do probates all day. This one happened fast. Like 4 weeks later, we was at the closing table.
Yeah.
And
what
man,
we make on that one? Like $30,000 was our
$30+
first
$1,000,
$30,000 check.
Yeah.
Wow. So it came from when you were an agent. That's when you got your lead talking to the neighbors, right?
Yeah.
And you got $30,000. Man, that's good
From
that
a
you followed
wholesale.
up with them.
Wholesale. So here I am, David, right? I'm an agent now, right? So I'm doing deals at this time. I'm picking up the pace. I'm just getting here 2 years ago. So I'm doing a little something now, but here go, it was actually $38,000. Here go a $38,000 check,
Right.
right? You never forget those numbers. $38,000 check versus the maybe $7,000 tops max I was getting as a traditional real estate agent. So you already know once I got that, I was like, okay,
They started to do his
it's
homework.
it's time to get in this lane and find out what's going on here and
Yeah.
find out more about this wholesaling business.
Right. Yeah. So you were making a lot more per deal as a wholesaler than as an agent. So that's when you shifted focus all the way that way. And again, you did 25 deals with DealMachine, but 49 deals total last year. And then you've got some drivers that fuel the leads for you, right? You actually probably don't drive yourself anymore.
No, yeah. So the way it's set up right now, we have including my drivers, we have an 8-man team, including the drivers. So I have 2 acquisition managers that play the role of disposition managers as well, and they do their own driving, right? So they do their own driving. They load up their own leads into the deal machine. We skip trace them at the end of the week and they call their own list. So we have outside of them, my oldest son is a driver as well. So he load up his list. And I have 2 cold callers. So 2 acquisition managers, which is also the disposition managers, 2 cold callers, me and Catherine as the lead. And then we have 3 drivers, 1 in Atlanta, 2 in Philadelphia.
Love it. Do you talk to them every week? How do you manage them to make sure they're adding the right kinds of properties?
Great question. Yeah, I believe in one of the best investments you can make in your business is just investing in your team. I spend a lot of time with my team. You ask Rochelle, she'll tell you I spend a lot of time with them. And we do a lot of videos, a lot of Zoom videos right now because of the pandemic, things like that. But I have an office. But for the most part, we call it a team huddle. We call it a team huddle. We have about 3 to 4 meetings a week. So they know what to expect. They know what I'm looking for. They keep everybody. Most of my time right now is spent coaching. So that's basically my main job right now.
Got it. I do my weekly driver meetings on Fridays. So tomorrow I'm going to get to talk to my drivers. And I like to give them feedback in a group because it's more time efficient.
Yeah.
They can learn from this question and that question. Same reason why we do that on this call. So guys, this is a good time. If you have some questions for Robert and Catherine, go ahead and start asking them in the comments. And we're going to go ahead and bring some of you guys online here really shortly.
And to your point, David, too, and to your point, another reason why it's great to have your drivers be in the meetings with the rest of your teams is because those drivers eventually graduate to be acquisition managers and disposition managers, right? When it's no limit, right? So it's no ceiling. So eventually they may want to grow. They may want to go to the next phase of their career. So they're able to hear, the way that my other team members think, how they talk, how they out in the field moving. So they're inspired by that. So, you'll have one of the drivers say, okay, or, outside of the meeting, what was that y'all was talking about? Assumption. What was novation? Like, what was y'all talking about when y'all was discussing that? And then I explained to him, like, he got a creative financing deal locked up right now. And this is one of our exit strategies that we utilize on deals like this. So it's just sky's the limit, man. So yeah, they get to basically be in a room with other giants,
Yeah, totally get that. If you're spending time with them now, they're training for the position that you don't even have open yet. But when you're ready to open that next position, you've got great candidates that have already gone through a lot of that training.
That's right.
That's so smart.
That's it.
That's right.
So always be looking for your next hire. You see what I'm saying? Always be. I learned that the hard way. Trust me, with the contracting business, always be looking for your next hire, because right now I have a bulletproof team. My team are best team a man can ask for, right, man? Yeah, 18, right? But you're gonna eventually, they can only take but so much. We're at that point now, like they can only handle but so much. So eventually somebody else gonna have to start coming in and filling those gaps.
Yeah.
So always, be looking for that next hire.
Absolutely. One thing that we've done training wise at DealMachine is I've time blocked every Monday at 4 to spend an hour just training everybody on something. It kind of forces me to figure out what do they need to know most next as a whole company, not even position specific. And I've gotten really good feedback on that. So we're going to keep doing that training wise. Micah, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great. Hey, where are you calling in from?
Deerfield Beach, Florida. I'm right outside Fort Lauderdale.
Okay, nice. And what type of real estate investing are you doing there?
I pretty much am a licensed realtor, and I'm getting into the investing side. I pretty
All right,
much have
Robert.
been, pardon me?
Much like Robert.
Yeah, similar to him. I heard him say that. But yeah, I've very much been trying to do the wholesaling in terms, and I actually wrote a pretty good deal on a contract and a terms deal. But when the guy showed it to his attorney, he then he advised him it wasn't a good idea. I would have made like 35 grand on that deal. That would have been my first deal. So it was a bummer, but I've been using Prop Stream and batch leads, but SMS I think is dying, to be honest, because now they're putting stop and end on all these messages. So I'm trying to find another route. So my question was, I wanted to find out, like, far as driving for dollars and building a team, what kind of structure is it that's working, that's keeping people around to keep driving and wanting to be enthusiastic enough to get in their car and put in the time to help find the properties?
Yeah, great question, Mike. Great question. Well, everybody is different, right? Like I said, I do a lot of coaching. I do spend a lot of time with my team. So I pay my drivers $15 an hour, and I give them 500 off of every deal that we close on. So $500 bonus, $15 an hour. That's how
$15 an hour.
drivers are structured.
Okay. And how long have you been doing it for?
Real estate in a whole, or just
As far as this driving for dollars team that you guys have developed?
2018.
Yeah, 2018.
2018?
Yeah. It was fairly new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're trying other strategies, but
Yeah,
We
but when we
went to the
found
Driving
driving
for
for dollars, and started, building a team. Oh man, it was lights out. Lights out.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
No
You're
problem, no
welcome.
problem. Real quick, Mike, on that deal, I just want to touch on that deal. It fell through because the agent seen the price.
I found the owner, and what happened is when I contacted the owner on the phone, he pretty much, I did the contract with him, and I was gonna get the property on an assignment, but the house was turnkey, but there was enough room left for me to make about like $35,000. And
Why did it fall through again?
Pardon me?
Why did it fall through?
He showed the contract to an attorney.
Okay.
And the attorney then advised him not to. And I wrote up just a straight up regular, as is contract too from the MLS that we all have access to as realtors. But unfortunately it fell through, and I heard that can happen sometimes, but at least I know I came close, and I'm still following up with him because he's got like an illness. So I'm hoping just by staying in contact, maybe he'll change his mind, because he won't let me list it. So I'm trying to figure that out, but we'll see.
Mike, next time do a double close, man.
Do a what?
Do a double close.
Do a double close?
Do a double close. Next time you find that type of deal, or even with that deal, let's just say you was locking it up for $100,000. Make sure that you're in direct contract for $100,000 with that seller. That seller can never see what you're selling it for. So if you were selling it for 135, they would have never known that, because they only would have seen the price that you was purchasing the property for.
Yeah.
So do a double close next time, man.
He never signed it. He took it to an attorney first. And I think when they saw the assignment checkbox, I think the attorney kind of like said to him, hey, this guy could like just move the contract and not even be liable. But I don't know why it would make a difference.
Talk more about that. Link up with me on social media, man. I have some things I could definitely
yeah, because
help you
Robert
out with,
probably
dude.
would have talked to the attorney at that point.
Yeah, man.
Bro.
I don't have the time to do it now, but we need to talk.
No, it's cool. Yeah, I'll look you up on IG.
All right, man.
What's your IG? Can you drop it in here?
Yeah, what is it?
Oh, it's my IG,
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
sir.
Rob Van Harris, V as in Victor, Rob Van Harris.
Rob Van Harris. All right, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
All right, Mike, be
All
good,
right.
brother.
All right, take it easy.
All right, man.
Micah, great to have you on.
Thank you very much.
I found that unless I paid my drivers hourly, then I would spend time training drivers that fizzled out. So I'm with you. I pay that hourly fee. I noticed you were at 15.
Say it again.
15 an hour for the
Oh yeah,
driver.
the hourly fee. Yeah. Oh yeah, you gotta take care of them, man. Gotta treat them right. And then the bonus is just a plus because now everybody can be excited, right? When we close, so we're they celebrate. They can get, out of the list that they upload, every 2 weeks, they may get 1-2 hits. So,
Right.
especially with our drivers in Philadelphia now. So everybody is excited, man. Everybody is, being taken care of. Everybody making the money that they want to make at the level that they're currently on. So it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, our acquisition managers drive too, but we don't pay an hourly
Mhm.
$15 an hour to our acquisition managers because they get a percentage of the deal.
A bigger part of the deal.
That's
Yeah.
strictly drivers. Our drivers we do pay $15
do
an hour
pay.
to keep them, motivated to to work. We're all grown here, right? So
Yeah.
Right. And, I know that people love to think, oh, I'll pay my drivers when I close the deal, but they got bills to pay now, so
Right.
they're definitely going to leave you if you don't pay them now too.
Exactly.
Megan, how are you?
Hi,
Hey there.
Megan.
Hey,
Everybody.
where are you calling in from?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Ooh, we're very close. Very close. And what was your question, Megan?
I think I kind of combined two of them, but basically just maybe a synopsis of your best tried and true systems and processes from when you drive, you see a distressed property, hit the lead button, and kind of take it from there. Maybe a summary of your steps and steps that you've learned through experience.
Yes, definitely. So yeah, we drive and we look to hit a certain mark. Now every market is different. My guys have a certain amount that we expect for them to load up a day. So they per day they load up a certain amount, and then rather they do it in 4 hours, 8 hours. If they knock out the amount that they're supposed to knock out, let's just say that amount is 100 leads a day. If they get 100 leads done on a 4-hour shift or an 8-hour shift within 2 hours, I still give them the same pay. That's another thing too. So if you do a 2 hours worth of work and you complete, if you're doing an 8-hour shift and you complete it within 2 hours, you still get the same pay. So that's one of the things.
I'm sorry.
Dang, I'm sorry about that, guys. So
My baby.
that's one of the he's always like literally like coming in doing stuff like that.
Yes.
So yep. So we do it like they drive, upload a certain amount of properties, let's just say 100, and then at the end of the week we have 500. For an example, we skip trace that list, and that when we skip trace that list, my assistant skip trace the list on behalf of my drivers and my acquisition managers. They skip trace the list, and on Monday we start cold calling that list. Now we start filtering as well. So after we're done cold calling that list, we have a new list by the next week, right? Because they was driving all that week. So the week that they're cold calling that 500, they're out driving for the next list. So after they're done just with that 500, now we're starting to filter. We're starting to do text messaging. And after text messaging, we're filtering the whole time. So now that 5, right, and trickle down to 3, right? So now after the 3, we go cold calling again. So that 300. And then after the cold call is RVM drops. And now we just incorporated back mailers back into our system. So we wasn't doing mailers all last year, but now we're taking the remainder of the 500 at the end on the 5th filter, and we're doing mailers. So was that too much? Did that make sense, Megan? Was it too all over the place, or did you understand that?
No, that was great, because that's kind of what I'm looking for, as a lot of these things can be our time factors. A, wanting to streamline it, and then B, so you were kind of talking about filtering. and starting with cold calls, then sending a text, then maybe a ringless voicemail, then maybe as you go up, somebody might send a mailer or something.
Yep.
What's your filter? Is it who gets back to you? What's that filter that takes it from 500 on down to say 300 on down to some actionable leads?
Yes, it's real simple. It's one of those things to where you're going to get about 50 do not calls, don't call me no more, right? You're going to get about another people to say, another 150 to say, I'm not selling. You're going to get about another 50 to say, call me back next year. So that's 200 right there, right? When you pull it, you can actually tag it within your system to when you pull it out your system through the text messaging, it'll only pull that 300. You follow what I'm saying? And you can do the same tagging on your text messaging system. So when you pull that, now you just basically keep calling until they answer, until you run through the whole list. So what we was doing, my team specialized in cold calling. That's what we specialize in, right? And what we were doing, we just kept cold calling, but everybody is not going to pick up the phone. And then without even realizing, a lot of these numbers come up scam likely or robocalls. So you have to be on top of that. But a person may pick up a text message, an email, a mailer, if they have, put your face on it, something different. One of those DealMachine postcards, what's the one we like? The block postcard.
Oh, there you go, Elise.
Right there. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just stand out. I'm telling you, it's just different filters is what we learn, and it's what's making a difference. Yeah.
So Robert and Catherine have added a lot of sophistication to it. I might add that if you haven't done any one of those types of marketing strategies, that you may just pick one and make sure that you're very consistent with it in order to keep it simple to do that first thing. Robert, Catherine, what's your take on that for somebody who's not done any of those things?
Totally agree. I totally agree, because remember, we started off doing mailers, and I was explaining this to Rochelle from your team. I was like, we was doing mailers back in maybe 2017, 18, but we stopped because we didn't have enough money to continue on the promotion.
Right.
So we just became great at cold calling. So you heard me say that earlier. We just became great at cold calling. I just coached my team, spent a lot of time with my team, because I've done it for over almost 15 years. Cold calling was my thing even when I was a newer agent, an agent for years. I did it every year of my career. So it's just one of the things that I had a gift in. So I took that and I just literally focused in on that. So we just started with the filtering. That's something actually that we just started. So it was all cold calling up to recent.
Have you got a couple of cold calling script tips or tricks of the trade for those cold calls?
Yeah,
he's like a mad scientist.
Yeah.
Man, he's tried a little bit of everything.
Reality, I can tell, but
He's like
maybe
a mad
couple of
scientist.
for us regular folks.
Say it again, Megan. Say the last part.
I said clearly the personality you've got, but maybe a couple of one-liners or sentence starters for the rest of us folks.
Yeah, basically just build rapport. You just got to build rapport.
Yeah,
and I would love, listen, I'm using, you guys can see, like, I love to talk, right? So let's link up, Megan. Let's link up. Let's do something to where we can, you guys can see. I have a YouTube channel. I have, social media. I'm actually just started sharing my pits of my team, behind the scenes of me training my team and having meetings with my team. So,
but you made a good point though. Building rapport.
Yeah, rapport is the key.
Yeah,
it's about building
Be
rapport.
a
Just
human.
be yourself.
Be a
Human, yeah, because all that reading from a page, it sounding like you're reading from a page, right? It's
trying
just
to sell someone, relate to them.
yeah.
Listen to them. You always tell us, make sure you're listening.
Do 80-20 rule. You want to do 80% listening, 20% talking, because they'll tell you their heart. They'll tell you whether or not they're willing, ready, able seller if you just listen.
If they have a problem that you can really solve, if they really have a problem, because we're problem solvers. So part of just listening.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah, listen for that pain point, try to find out where you can plug in some help and go from there. Well,
Absolutely.
thank you for letting me share. Congrats. Good work. I'll look you up on YouTube for sure.
all right, my
Um,
friend.
Thank you so much for the
The
great
best of the
questions.
best.
I always found it hard to start the conversation. And that's even still something I struggle with, is like the very start of a presentation or the very start of that conversation. And when I'm doing a cold call, oftentimes, I just say, hey, are you the person that owns this house? Would you consider an offer on it? And then kind of let them talk from there, kind of choose their own adventure rather than following a strict script.
Yeah,
That's good.
yeah. And you can always jump in and out. You see what I'm saying? You can always jump in and out the script to help you to not to go in a tantrum, right? And help you to stay on track. But for the most part, people love to do deals with people that they want to do deals with. You see what I'm saying? They're going to do a deal with you because they want to do a deal with you because you've built rapport with them, or at least gotten them to a point to where they feel comfortable enough with
Right.
you to kind of let down their guard.
Right.
And that don't happen within 5 minutes. I don't care how great you are on the phone. That just don't happen in 2 to 3 minutes of you just reading a script and just getting right to the bottom point of the script. And you just think they just want to, show you their hand. Because one of the things too, you want them to give you their price,
Their number.
and you work the deal from there. So it's just so much to it, man. But David, like you said, that's key. You want to make sure that you're building that rapport. You say a little bit, but you let them do most of the talking.
Brandon Dukes, how are you, man?
How you doing? Sorry about that. My computer had just crashed when you guys pulled me up. So I had to go on my phone.
Glad you're here.
Thank you. I guess my question was, how did you know when you needed to expand and get drivers? What was like that turning point when you guys knew, like, okay, we need to really expand and 10x this business?
When you feel yourself being pulled in multiple directions and you're not showing up and being 100% in each of those lanes. You know what I mean? Because you can't be 100% on everything. You can't really be a jack of all trades, not really. Because if I'm being a dad, I have a lot of hats. I'm a dad, I'm a father of 4, right? I'm a husband. My wife needs attention from me, right? That's a lot of attention, right? That's a head in itself. You know what I mean? I got dogs. You see what I'm saying? I'm a coach, right? Before I was a coach, I was a real estate agent. I'm an investor. I'm writing contracts, trying to do my own contracts to close. I'm going out showing buyers houses. Listen, when you're waking up in the morning and doing all that you can do, you averaging your 5 hours, 6 hours of sleep, or whatever you average, and you feeling that it's still not enough. It's time to, delegate. It's time to delegate. Delegate in order to elevate, man, is my saying. Delegate. Okay. And that's one of the best things I ever did in my business.
Yeah, I also feel like the more you it's time to expand when you feel like your foundation is strong. Because if you're going to bring more drivers on, they need to make sure your home front, your home base is a strong structure in order to handle and bring on more people, because essentially you're going to have to be paying those people. You're going to have to be managing those people, monitoring what they're doing, making sure that they're not wasting your money and your time. And so you really need to make sure that we did not expand, or we did not even embark on expanding until we had a strong enough system, we felt like, within the few people that we do have working with us. So it's a good idea to make sure you have the foundational things in order before you start trying to manage more people.
Yeah, I totally agree. That was good.
Brandon, I can share a few things from the DealMachine side if you'd like.
Sure.
So there's 3 rules that I follow. Is, first of all, I hire to get things off my plate rather than hire to add capacity. And that ties into number 2 is, before I hire somebody, I want to have a fully laid out, documented description of what I do and how I do that position. That's why number 1 is necessary. If I hire to add capacity, I've got no process for them to follow and no way to teach them how to do that. So I had a 3rd thing in mind. What was the 3rd thing? I might come back to it if I think of it, but those are 2 things that really helped me figure out who I need to hire next. Oh, the third thing is every once in a while, I'll do like an assessment of the things I do and how much happiness it actually brings me. So if I'm figuring out what to get off my plate next, I don't want to give away the thing I love. I want to get rid of the thing that I'm not the best at or that I don't love. And like one of those great examples is like Elise on social media gives her energy. Me on social media, I actually am a bit of an introvert. So it wasn't like a great fit for me, but Elise does an amazing job at it. And so that was something I decided like, I need to get off my plate.
Okay, thank you. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks again, guys.
You're welcome.
Stuff. Welcome.
That's a good
That
question.
was good.
That was a
Yeah.
really good question.
Nicholas Lopez says, great job, Elise, by the way.
Yeah, she is phenomenal with those videos, man. Really, no, you are. Literally, that is your lane all day.
So Robert and Catherine, how did you two meet?
Oh man, we met in the studio.
Yeah.
Studio years ago, man. We've been together for 15
15
years,
years.
going on 16 years. And been married for just now celebrated our 10th year anniversary.
Yep. So we
Yeah.
met doing something we
Thing we
both
love to
loved,
do.
which was music.
Music at the time, yeah.
Oh, amazing. What instruments do you play, or were you singing?
Well, I sing, and he
I was a
raps.
rapper at the time. Yeah, man, that was my. It was even two things I was going to be successful
Yes,
in, David.
he
It
used to
was
tell
gonna
me.
be- I told her a long time ago. I was 19 years old when I told her. I said, "Listen, there's either two ways I'm gonna make this, baby. It was either gonna be with the
Real
music,
estate or
or it's gonna be
music.
real estate." So
He's
of
like,
course,
I'm
when the
gonna
kids
own an
started-
apartment building. So just so you know, we're gonna have an apartment building one day.
But I did it. I purchased my first property when I
did.
was 21 years old.
surely
And
did.
been rolling ever since. So
Could we interest you in maybe creating a theme song for DealMachine?
okay.
Oh wow.
man, look,
Okay,
I'm,
listen,
hey,
I'm
David,
up for it.
I'm retired.
I'm into it.
I retired, but Catherine, she's still running.
No,
in
no,
that
no,
lane.
no, no. It's gotta be a duet. It
She's
has to be a duet.
That would be amazing.
I won't do it if it's not a duet.
Yeah, man, we got you, David. We got you. You've
Yeah.
done so much for our business, man. Anything you need, we got you.
Absolutely.
Hey, well, congratulations on 10 years of marriage too.
Oh,
Thank
man,
you so
thank you, man.
much.
Thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate you, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a mouthful.
That's why I tell him, man, about that delegate part. Delegation, man, it's the key. Delegating is it was one of
helps.
the it helps, dude. It was like one of the I actually I think with me, I was the type, my mindset, everything had to be done by me, right? If you want it done right, get it done yourself mentality, but that was the wrong way of thinking. So I started reading, I started studying, listening to, the greats, the Robert Kiyosaki's and things like that. And it's like, you think that's the wrong way of thinking. If
Yeah.
anything, like you said, David, you just hit it. Find the things that you dislike the most and start delegating those first, because somebody else loved that.
Mhm.
Like, at least, like, she loved doing social media. Like, I don't like doing social media. I'm more of an introvert, extrovert type of person. When I start talking, I can talk.
We have to force
But they
him
have
to
to
do
force
social
me to do
media.
it. That's why I don't have as much content as I should. But I just don't. I don't like it. I don't like
Totally relate to that. Carol, are you there? Are you there with us?
it. Yeah.
Hannah, do you know what question she asked? Maybe you could ask it for her if she's not able to join us on the video.
Yes. So she asked, how do you determine where your drivers drive? Like what areas they go? How do you determine that for your business?
Mm-hmm. We honestly at this point, because we've been kind of just like doing it for a while now, my drivers do the homework the day before. So the way they do it is we go to the hot spots. We find out, we have a way in tracking where the homes are selling right now and where the percentages are. Like what homes are selling the most, what areas is on fire. And we attack those areas. We go hunting. For the most part, we get feedback from our buyers. Our buyers let us know, for the most part,
Where we need to be driving.
You see what I'm saying? They let you know. So after you've been doing it for a while, or even know somebody that's been doing it for a while, just ask them. Just say, what areas are you looking to purchase in? You know, what areas, if you just now finished up a house over here in 191, whatever, 2 something, right? What if I found you another house? Would you be willing, ready, and able if I found you a house tomorrow? And if those answers is yes, and you start building that rapport, call your buyers list. So that's another thing too that's important. Build that rapport with your buyers list because they'll tell you where to go hunting. So that's my answer. Yeah.
Speaking of buyers list, how'd you wholesale that first property? Where'd you find your buyer?
We were
Remember, I was
already
a real estate agent.
right.
So I was, when I came here, because I had the contracting background, I automatically shifted to wanting to work with investors, right? So, because that was my specialty, I knew how to go in and I had an eye outside of what most agents would have. I knew how to calculate costs. I knew what to look for. And of course, investors, that drew them to me, but it was a bigger plan for me because again, I had a tunnel vision as to ultimately what I was going to do with those investors and what I was going to need them for. But eventually I started utilizing them to sell my deals to. But when I first here, I was just helping them calculate costs and things like that, listing their homes for them, and I already had them in the pipeline.
Right.
Alan, how are you doing tonight?
Doing great. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, the Wi-Fi is a little hard out here in the forest to get, but so I had a couple questions for you guys. When you guys have great drivers going through picking up leads for you guys, how do you build credibility with the sellers when you reach out to them?
Oh man, yeah. So we kind of touched on this. Yeah, we just kind of touched on this same thing. Just building that rapport. You know, everybody finding that person with that problem, that you can resolve. You know, you're a problem solver, right? So the more people you find with problems, the more money you will make. And the more calls you make, the more people you will find with problems. And where we kind of have the problem is that if you're not reaching enough people with the problem, then in my personal experience, you're not making enough calls.
Now, when you say credibility, are you referring to, you know, maybe an issue, maybe a person just feeling like you aren't able to purchase the home, or?
Yeah, so for somebody starting out, like I don't have a track record, I haven't done a deal before. If they ask you, can you close on this deal? Like, how can I know that you're going to close on this deal? How can you essentially communicate to them that you're going to follow through?
So listen, that's just it. If they're basically, you don't have no track record, right? You can use the leverage of somebody else track record for number one. That's why you want to make sure you connect with people on social media. Like right now we live in a generation, my friend, to where at the click of a button, you could be connected with that person that you can utilize their website, their name, their track record to be if needed. Like I don't like to this day, right? I have money in my account, but I never show proof of funds. So if we're talking like if a person asks you for proof of funds or something like that, I simply say I'm privately funded, right? I have people that utilize IRA accounts, and you can utilize the same script, right? Proof of funds. Okay, so Mr. Seller, Mr. or Mrs. Seller, let me explain to you how this works. I'm privately funded. My team and I were privately funded. So we get what's called private capital. So I have a certain group of people that have IRAs, self-directed IRAs, Roth IRAs, 401ks, and things like that, to where we all come together, each person, each individual, put a certain amount of money in a pot each month for us to invest in these properties. So I can't go and just grab a proof of funds from each person just to show you, because it may be 10 people on one deal. You see what I mean? So that means I would have to go get 10 different POFs. And they understand that because it's the truth. People like myself, we raise capital all the time. So I have people that use private self-directed IRAs. So if I was to do that, but you can do this though. You could go to my website and see other people bragging about us. You can see them raving about us. And guess what, my friend? If you don't have that website, send them to my website. Tell them you're one of my partners, right? Leverage. You see what I'm saying? Leverage your connections. Look, you on here with David. David, he's a giant in the game, right? So David guarantee you because he sells real estate too. Send him to David's website. Look, man, use what you got in your hand. You talking to me today, you got all these investors on here. Send them to our website. Tell them you're a
Awesome. I'll tell him I'm working with Rob. Good deal.
That's it. That's it. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Who's gonna argue with you on that, right?
Alan, I couldn't tell you if I've been asked for proof of funds before. When somebody has been in distress, that I feel like that's been the last thing on their mind. Do you get asked very often, Robert, Catherine?
No, we don't.
No.
But we run across them here and there. You know what I mean? And they utilize that script every time, and we're not lying about it because we really are. A lot of our deals and why deals we do are a lot larger than what a lot of other investors or wholesalers may get because we do a lot of that. We do a lot of hoteling as well outside of wholesaling. So we really do raise private capital, and people do use their self-directed IRAs to fund us. You know, so we use that all day, man. We run with that. And people don't even know how to even put that together. Some people don't even know that you can invest in real estate with IRA accounts. They're like, so that automatically confuses them anyway, right? So once you just throw that out there, they're confused anyway, right? So they just like, all right, cool. No worries, Where's the contract, right? Because if you know all this, you know something. If you talk about IRA accounts, 401ks account, 401ks, and how you can invest with them, oh, you must know something.
Yeah, he sounds like he knows more than I do. I better listen to him.
There you go. Exactly. And if all fails, just send them to David and Rob's site. That's all you gotta do.
Hey, there's your website, vanharrisgroup.com.
No, that's my traditional real estate website, but my my website that I send my buyers to is discountedhomesga.com. So my buyers go there, and then my sellers go to what is the seller site? Sell your home. So I gotta look it up. I don't even know about heart, man. One of my team members are in the, on one of the website. Y'all put it up there, but I can't remember it over this.
It should be in the chat.
Yeah, it should be in the chat. But yeah, we got and then what happens is you build rapport with both. You build a track record with both because if buyers go, we have two separate sites. So buyers go and they sign up for our site. They see that we're doing deals, right? They see it because we got a bunch of properties that we've sold. And then sellers, when they go to our seller site, which is separate, right? They're able to see all the reviews. So, man.
Yeah, I mean, building those relationships with other buyers and, and I don't know if you, utilize Facebook and things like that and join the different groups, investment groups or whatever in your backyard, when you're on the phone, with a seller, you really can tell them that you have access to thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in capital or millions in capital, right? Because if you're making connections with other investors, other wholesalers, connecting on the Facebook groups and things like that, then you're truly telling the truth. You do have access to lots of capital, so you can truly buy their home or
I buy homes. Asking. We buy homes too, Alan. So you really do have capital backing, right? So let's just say you come across a property. What market are you in, Alan?
So I'm in Northern Virginia.
Virginia, okay. I haven't done any deals in Virginia, but you come across a deal though, and it makes sense. Hey man, send it to me. And if I don't buy it, guess what? I have a wide range of people that will. So
awesome. So just reach out via Instagram, or what's the best way to send your deal?
Yeah, what is it? Rob Van Harris?
Rob Van Harris on Instagram.
All right. Will do. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you, Alan. Look forward to working with you, man. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Alan, thanks so much for the great questions. It's been great to have you here. And next up, we've got Amy Kane. Amy, how are you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing?
Hi. Thank you guys so much. I'm taking notes. I'm getting so much value out of this.
Awesome.
Where do I start? Should we talk about social media? You guys have a YouTube channel?
Yes.
Has that helped to build your business?
No, no, not at all. I'm gonna tell you, I just said it a little while ago. I don't personally, because I'm so busy, I do so much. I stated I'm a father of 4 boys. Some boys, the energy that runs through this house just in itself on a daily basis is just enough to burn out one man, right? We have 2 dogs, a German Shepherd, and the little one you just seen jump up here minutes ago, right? We just do a lot of hats. So I don't, my son, my oldest son now, which is 18 years old, believe it or not, he was like, Dad, you have a lot to say. And you have to start sharing this with the public. And I'm like, I know. And I start and I stop, I start and I stop. And he's like, you know what? I take over. I just you gotta share what you're sharing with your team and the rest of us. You have to share, because I love giving back. I'm a giver. Like anybody that know me, set with me, they know that I'm a giver, like to the heart. So yeah, it haven't helped me none because I haven't been really focused in on it and dedicated to it. But I'm pretty
Not
sure it'd
us
be
personally,
great.
no.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it could be.
With consistency, it really could be, but no, not for us.
Yeah,
It
not
hasn't.
for us.
I've had on my Instagram, I've actually had my cash buyer list increase because of Instagram. And Elise is amazing on social media. So one more question, and we're both real estate agents.
Mhm.
And because we're real estate agents, we have access to resources that investors don't and other wholesalers don't. What resources do you use as a realtor and how do you use them?
Really outside of the MLS, I really don't use anything else. I use GAR forms when doing I use the forms when using my PAR forms and GAR forms when doing my contracts. I know a lot of investors don't do that, but I do. I disclose that I'm an agent. I always disclose that. Put inside the special stipulation that all parties agree, that Rob Harris is a licensed real estate agent and is acting as principal on this transaction. But other than that, because we do a lot of double close, a lot of, like I told you earlier, but other than that, nothing. Like DealMachine, and I'm not just saying this as I'm on the phone, because we're here with David, Lecco, and the whole team, Anna, Elise, and I'm really saying this because it's the truth. Like anybody that know us the truth too. Like DealMachine, once I mastered, because what's happening is you get just in that alone, especially in my market, is very saturated, right? We have a lot of giants roaming the land. So in my market, what happened was when I seen that I was able to get better deals, bigger and better deals, that's what I focused in on.
I use title because you said your drivers know what areas, like I use title for the turnover rates. And if DealMachine could have some filter, and I'll add it to the suggestion box after this, but we're able to pull neighborhoods and see the turnover rate to see how many houses are selling in that area. And that's how I decide, should I drive this area? Is the turnover rate in that golden area?
That's good information. No, that's really good information, Amy. Now, where do you say you pull that information from?
Title.
Title.
Oh yeah, your title rep, they can do next sellers, they can do empty nesters, they can do boundary searches. If you're, before you drive a neighborhood, they can tell you like 5% turnover rate, that's a good neighborhood to drive.
Well, we just took a note from took a note.
Okay, I'm taking notes. You guys are taking notes.
That's what I'm talking about, right? That's what it is. Listen, this right here is how you grow.
Yeah.
This is how you go to the next level. Just talking with people. People are willing to give, and we don't know everything. But when you get in a room with people, it's not about knowing everything. It's about talking with people, and they may give you a little something. You may give them a little something, and it helps you. We help each other.
Iron sharpens iron.
That's it. I didn't even know that. Wow. Come on, Amy. Come on, Amy. Let's go. What else you got? What else you got in that little, that little book of yours right there? What other little secrets
You know
want?
what? I got one more. What is a realistic goal for your first year? as far as how many houses you should be adding every month, how many cold calls you should be doing, what numbers you should be hitting. What's a realistic goal for somebody like me who's committed and consistent with my cold calling, and I have the drive and desire, but am I dreaming big enough?
Yeah. What market are you in, Amy, if you don't mind?
Los Angeles.
Okay, okay. See, it's gonna change depending on the market. See, my number may be way outside of what you would need to do in your market to get your first deal off the ground. Like for instance, like David guaranteed would say, 250, a month, I think it is, David, you go with 250 a month each driver.
What was 250 a month?
Yeah, yours is 250 a month. You recommend they do 250 a month. They get their first deal off the ground. Is that correct?
Leads.
Oh yeah. I always say that, minimum.
Minimum, right? So that's where I started years back, right? But now, if David go look at my deal machine and see how many, and I'm not even going to give you that number because it's probably crazy, just one person alone. But we upload a lot because our market is saturated, right? And what I will tell you this though, right? Power is in the follow-up. So rather you have 10 leads or 20 leads, the power is in the follow-ups.
Yeah.
And the more you're able to track your numbers, because I tell my team this all the time. It took me years to get this across to them. Guys, real estate is a numbers game. Once you're able to learn the numbers, you can make as much money as you want. Because if you know right now, Amy, right, that every 10 leads I can convert to, right? For every 10 leads, if I can, let's just say I'm gonna get seven appointments out of 20, right? I'm gonna write about 5 contracts out of that 7, and I'm gonna close 2, right? What would you have to do to double your lead? What would you have to do to double to turn that 2 to 4 next month?
Yeah, it's really a numbers game, isn't
All you
it?
have to do is times it by 2. The numbers game. Just have to times it by 2. If I know if I get 20 leads and out of every 20 people I talk to, I have a good enough mouthpiece that I can get about 7 to 8 appointments. And I know if I get in front of 7 to 8 people, that's going to help me to get at least 3 of those, 4 of those under contract. Now, out of those 4, you and I both know because you're an agent too, right? So 2 of those going to fall through. Right? 2 of those will fall through, which is going to leave you with 2. You know how that go, right? You know how we be waiting, how we don't want on as real estate agents, but them things would be out of 4, maybe 3 will fall through. But with these, maybe 2 will fall through, right? 2 fall through, then those are your numbers. Then you go off of that numbers, then you say, okay, let me double that. I want to do 4 closings a month. So now I need to talk to 40 people, right? I need to get 14, 15, maybe 16 leads. And then when it's all said and done, I'm gonna get 4 conversions off of that. So just track your numbers, follow your numbers, get it. And you seem like you're very, very, very knowledgeable. So that's gonna be easy for you to do.
And I'm going for the luxury market in Los Angeles. So here's a tip, you guys. If you're driving affluent neighborhoods, you're not going to see as much deferred maintenance in the homes that you would see in working class or middle class neighborhoods. In rich neighborhoods, look for original condition homes, because it's a very good indication that house has probably not been updated in decades.
Oh yeah, that's a great tip.
Yeah.
I love it.
Amy, I also wanted to say that the 250 number is what I say as a minimum.
Okay.
I find that in higher price markets like Los Angeles, you're going to need more than that. So I just wanted you to have that expectation set. Put like 1,000 on your sheet.
Okay.
You'll have to find more leads, but your payoff will likely be bigger than what I'll find here in Indianapolis.
It's true. One phone call can change your life.
That's right.
So true. So true. Well spoken. Well spoken, Amy.
Amy, is there any other questions that you have for us? And thank you so much for sharing your tips too.
Oh, you're
blowing up with your title agent comment.
Yeah, title is going to be one of your biggest assets. When you're doing your research about what neighborhoods to drive. I have no other questions, guys, but thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Amy. I appreciate it.
Amy.
Yeah, thank you. That was great.
Yeah.
So it's 8 o'clock here in Atlanta. and in Indianapolis. So Robert and Catherine, we know you have a lot of hats, 3 dogs, some kids, spend time with each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to invite you to join us for the second half if you want to, but you're definitely not obligated to because you only committed to this first hour. We're going to transition to a software demo, but before we transition, I wanted you guys to connect with these two. They've given out their Instagram a couple of times to connect on deeper questions that people had. So feel free to follow them and reach out. Robert and Catherine, you guys have any other closing comments? What a beautiful family you have.
Oh,
Thank you
man.
so much.
Thank you. Yeah, they're really part of our team. We really put them to work, David. We really put them to work. This ain't just for show. We really do put them to work.
Even the little one.
Even the little one.
Is your oldest the one that runs your YouTube and your social media?
Yeah, we sure do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but that's it, man. Quality over quantity. And I just would say, invest in people just as much as you're invested into your business. That's just been that's been one of our secret sauces. Like we said earlier in the webinar, we spent a lot of time with our team, and now they're assassins, man, and they go out there, they do what they're supposed to do, and they're killing it. And I just think that this year already, I know that this is going to be our biggest year yet. So I'm excited. I'm excited to learn more from you all, build more with you all, and David, and the whole DealMachine family. You guys are, phenomenal. You guys have helped our business. Yes. I can't thank you enough, man. When Josh called me, and asked me to, start telling me about the enterprise account, it was a no-brainer. I'm like, what? That's a small token to pay for. Listen, hear me. That's a small token to pay for the gift that you have given to this world through this app, my friend. For real, man, you are blessed. And I'm not just saying that, man, as a cliche. I'm saying that because this app have changed our lives, man, and they're going to change the lives of millions of others, man. I know it without a question or a doubt, my friend.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for saying that. That means the world to me. And it all started just because I was trying to get into it myself and make my process a little bit easier. So it just makes me so thankful that you guys have gotten value from it as well. And I certainly appreciate you guys coming on here to share back with the DealMachine community. So thank you again.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. Your customer service team is through the roof too, man. Before I started, met Rochelle and then with the enterprise, she's my main connect now. Rochelle, you hear me keep mentioning Rochelle because she's
yeah. I saw her.
But before Rochelle, I was talking to it was Joy.
Yep.
Joy is phenomenal, dude. We used to bug her. We used to be, and she would get right back to us. Boop, 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 boop. It was like this. Yeah. Now I'm big on customer service because remember I've been running businesses for years. So when I seen the customer service, I was like, these people are on to something. Like they're not just about, hey, give me your money, and then you ask the question. You don't hear from that person until 10 days later. No, you guys are on it, man. Your team is phenomenal, man.
Absolutely.
Really.
Thank you so much. It means so much for you to say that. We've obviously invested in that, but it's great to hear that feedback. Rochelle is on here and she says, I love Robert and Catherine too.
Hey, Rochelle.
That's
our girl. We be masterminding together. Me and Michelle and the team, we be masterminding together. That's my girl.
Also, by the way, I thought I saw somebody on here that said they were your acquisitions manager. Are they on here?
Probably. My whole team most likely is on. It should be on here.
Cephas was on.
Cephas was on?
Yeah, he was.
Okay, yeah, that's one of my team members.
He's probably
that's one of my team members. Yep, Cephas. He's a
He shared their website.
That's my dude. He shared the website.
We appreciate that.
My man.
There he is.
There he is.
Oh, okay. Tanya Sanders.
My mom on here, Mauricio. That's one of my, he was one of my first drivers, man.
Yeah.
Oh man, you guys are awesome. I appreciate everybody tuning in today, man. listen, we appreciate each and every one of y'all.
Yes,
Let's continue
yes.
to build together, grow together. I'm gonna make sure Catherine and Jair, my oldest boy, keep me on track with dropping more, social media content, things like that, man, for sure.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add, just stay consistent. It's so important to stay consistent and just don't grow discouraged in the process. Don't give up, to everyone that's on here, that you're trying to build your business, you're trying to, get that first deal off the ground, or you're just hitting a ceiling. With acquiring new deals, you have to stay consistent. Consistency is key. If you stay consistent, if you spend time studying and practicing your scripts and just doing the research on YouTube, so much available to us now in this information age, to where there's really no excuse to not become better. We have so many free resources, right? So just if you stay consistent, you master your craft, you're going to get that first deal. You're going to get that second deal. Never get comfortable. If I had anything to leave with you all, it would just be, don't ever grow comfortable after your first deal. Don't hang your head up and say, I have a $30,000 check. Let me go ahead and, take a vacation and all that. Because guess what? That money will be gone before you know it, right? Keep building your pipeline. Keep making your calls. Stay hungry. Stay out there driving, doing what you need to do. You don't need money to start this business. All you need to do is know how to drive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, know how to drive. Yeah.
Download this amazing app.
Yeah.
And just stay consistent.
And this coming from somebody, guys, listen, this coming from two people in 2014 was living out of a hotel room with their kids, right?
I can't imagine.
Listen, with our kids. It's one thing, see,
That's
for
tight quarters.
the men on here know, like, listen, man, hotel room for us, man, listen, give us some pocket money. We gonna make something out of nothing, right? We gonna make it happen. But when you looking at your babies and you looking at your beautiful wife and you like, yo, I got to make this happen. That's a whole nother, it's like a lightning bolt going through your heart. It's bigger than just you. So mind you, we said we didn't get our first wholesale deal off the ground until 2016. Mind you, we got here in 2014. So the struggle was real. You see what I'm saying? We had no family. This coming from people that's in a totally foreign land, right? We're not born and raised here. We had no family, no friends, and was able to create a business,
right?
That have given us freedom. Guys have given us freedom. There's no excuse for y'all. Right now, I said it earlier. There's only three things that's going to stop you from making the moves that you need to make today, right? It's fear. Fear paralyzes you, right? Emotionally, mind, body, and soul. And most of it is in the mind anyway, right? Or laziness. You're lazy, right? You don't really want to get out there to do the work. You don't really want to get out there and make the money that you need to make because really, you're just lazy, right? You don't really got the you ain't got that drive. You ain't got that fight. You ain't got that why. See, my kids not having nothing, you know what I mean, nowhere to sleep. Their own bed to sleep in at the end of the night was my why, right? You know what I mean? So, or three, you watching other people, because I said it earlier, again, connect. There's no excuse to connect. So if you're not connecting, you know what I mean? It's just, it must be some type of hatred in your heart, because at the end of the day, hatred, if you're not connecting and you're watching people and they're motivating you and they're inspiring you, reach out to that person, let them know that they inspire you, they motivate you, and you can reach them by the click of a button. Connect with people, guys. And that hatred in your heart, that spirit of hatred, is only going to let you go so far in life, man. So, guys, there's no excuses. Get out there, get it, grind, and I'm telling you, you won't.
Possible.
It's so possible.
Yeah, it's
so
possible,
guys. Hey, man, I took enough of y'all time. God bless. David, thank you so much. Elise, thank you.
All of you.
Hannah, thank you.
Church. My gosh. I was just feeling it up here. I think everyone was in the chat. So thank you so much for all of this. Also, if we ever have a Deal Machine event of any kind, y'all are speaking at it, because my gosh.
We'll be there with bells on.
Let's get it. I told you when I start to speak, the problem is getting me to shut up. That's not the part is getting me to speak.
I am gonna start tagging you in things and being like, all right, Robert, you need to get on social and like start saying, I mean, you have so many nuggets that you could literally just like snap real quick on a story that would make someone's day. I know I would be all about it.
Yeah.
Man, I appreciate that, Elise, especially coming from
Yeah.
you. You are a social media queen.
Oh my
We
gosh.
Checking up at y'all. Yo, you got it. You got it. Like,
We're just
literally.
passionate. We're just passionate. We just want to see. We want us all to win, and there's enough struggling going on right now. So in our world, so
Well,
that's why we share.
We're gonna be keeping in touch to get the theme song. That's what I messaged David. I'm like, we need them to make a theme song for this.
Bring me out of
I'm there.
retirement.
I'm there.
Y'all gonna bring me out.
Robert, we're just gonna have to bring you right back out of that retirement. You know,
Hey,
brush it off.
why
You
not?
still got it. You
Oh,
still
yeah.
got
It's
it.
like riding a bike. It's like riding a bike.
You still
Wow, came out of retirement.
They see the dream. Listen. DealMachine team then got me to come out of
Hey, only
retirement.
for Deal
now.
Machine.
Only for y'all.
That was our top level objective this year.
We did, and now we've checked that off, and now we just need to get to going for the music video and everything. We've done one already, so like.
Hey, that's so innovative. I love it.
I love it.
Thinking
I love
outside
it.
of the box. Don't that's right.
Never get
Do
comfortable.
music video. You know what I mean? Think
Catherine,
outside the box.
literally, you hit my chord when you said don't get comfortable, because that was when I was in sales. That was the biggest thing was don't get comfortable always. And it also goes to if you are comfortable, get uncomfortable.
Yeah, that is his thing.
That's me.
He
all
is
day.
like, that is him preaching to us, to everyone all day long. Because
Kids,
don't
your
want to
kids.
get comfortable.
That's how you go.
Somebody
broke.
is on
You
your
get
tail.
comfortable, you get broke.
Believe me, somebody is right on your tail. That lead that you didn't call, that conversation that you didn't have. Oh, trust me, someone's gonna pick up the phone and have a conversation, and you're possibly gonna miss out on $25,000, anywhere from $25,000, $40,000 check because you got comfortable. So yeah,
For sure.
we live by that. We live
Live.
by that.
Thank you guys so much. So
Thank
blessed to have you guys in the
Thank
family.
you all so much. This has
We
been
appreciate
awesome,
it.
amazing.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
And with that, we're going to transition to a software demo so that you guys can get your questions answered about any of the technology stuff. Robert, Catherine, again, thank you so much. Elise, are you down to give this demo with me?
Yeah, for sure. And y'all, I will say I put it in all caps before, but we have a training with some amazing trainers on how to get started. Don't forget to sign up for that. It's amazing. Literally, we went through it as a DealMachine team, and it helps you with those building blocks, because I know a lot of you have some really good questions starting out, and they're not done by any means. I want you guys to know that, we're here to help you with that, because I know some people were feeling a little conscious about that.
For sure. Can you repost that link one more time in case they didn't see it the first time?
Yeah. Let me get it up here. Man.
Hannah,
I'm
please
energized.
email them. Thank you with us all attached, because that was just fantastic.
Oh my gosh. I'm ready. Woo!
All right.
Um,
Yeah, go ahead. Start us off.
All right. So I had a lot of you were asking, how many leads do you need when getting a deal, right? So David has the enterprise dashboard up right now, but like if you're starting out, there is another dashboard that looks similar to this. Fill it out. Take literally 5 minutes to just put in how many deals you want to do, put in your why, put in what you want to do with this. And we actually it may be cheesy, but like this is what the big CEOs do too when they're going on there. They put a check because they're putting it into reality, making it reality. So put it in there, put in where you're from, because like David mentioned, if you're in LA, if you're in Atlanta, if you're in New York City, I saw someone in here for that, you're going to need to double, sometimes triple the amount of leads that you are putting in compared to other markets like us in the Midwest. So it's just something you have to kind of understand and accept. And someone asked when the next webinar is going to be. We actually have them every other Thursday, and you can sign up for them right here. Hannah's already got us teed up for the next one down here. We'd love to see you guys on. I love seeing a lot of you continue to come on and get to know you guys even more. But also, big thing here in the dashboard for those of you, it's not just setting up your goals, it's not just signing up for the webinar. Your analytics live here. If you're wondering if you actually, it's not if, when you track your KPIs, when you track what you need to track, this is where it's going to live. So if you scroll down, you're going to see how many leads added in January, how many mailers, active leads, and then it breaks it down even more. And you can filter this by person who added it. David, you can speak to team-wise filtering this out between drivers when you pay them, correct?
Absolutely. I would go to the driving tab to look at that graph.
Okay.
Well, actually, are you talking about, which part are you talking about?
I'm talking about leads added. So that is, I believe, the first one. Yeah.
Leads added is first part of this graph. And yes, I can filter it by certain drivers. Anthony Garcia is one of my top drivers here. Oh, Anthony Molina. Sorry, Garcia is another one of my drivers. I always mix that up.
Dang.
Oh yeah, these guys are first class. So I have 4 drivers, so I add quite a bit of leads to my account every month.
My gosh, and he's down from that's crazy. He did 2,000.
Well, you know, it was Christmas and stuff.
Right. No, but that's still amazing. He's on a non-holiday, he's doing double that.
Right.
So this your analytics. And then if you scroll back up, there's 2 little buttons at the top right that are really important. It is your activity feed. And especially if you have a team, this is huge. This shows you what mail you've sent out, what you've skip traced, where your drivers have been. I mean, literally everything you do is right here. So Martin's been driving. He added 81 leads. Holy cow. So this is huge. The other tab that you have is going to be your calendar tab. If you are sending out marketing through us, this was a feature request by a member about how to track their mail, make sure they're budgeting, because budgeting is key. So if you go to that little calendar feature, you can actually see when mail is expected to drop, how much it's going to cost, and you can actually see a preview of the mailers that are going to be going out to those properties. And you can see David has mail tracking. So this is an add-on feature you can have for $20 extra. And it actually tells you like when it was printed, when it's in the area, when it was delivered. And someone was asking when you should call. Definitely call them. But the nice thing is you know when the mails drop, so you can actually reference that too. When you know the mail has dropped, you can call again for the 3rd time and be like, hey, I sent you a postcard. You know, did you get it? And that shows them you put forth even more effort than just calling them.
Yep.
Okay, dashboard, think we're good. Let's move on down. Also, just so y'all know, I know this is a lot. This replay is going to be on tomorrow, and I'm going to go through and timestamp it. But we also I've made individual videos for each tab, so that if you have a question about a specific tab, it goes through everything, and it's on our YouTube channel. Not to sound like spammy, but go like and subscribe and turn on notifications for all that good stuff, because we have great stuff that comes out. I know I'm biased, but it is. The map portion now. So this map portion is going to be for if you have our street engine. So when you're driving around, you'll actually get to use highlights. I know some people were talking about that earlier. Amy, I think, mentioned it actually too after she was off. But this is where you can highlight different properties by, I mean, there's a kit and caboodle of filters. You can create presets for your drivers. So that way you say, I mean, I tell mine green is good. If it's not green, don't add it. And that saves me time when I'm vetting through the properties. And then you can just like do custom ones. So this goes all the way from sale date. If you have a unit count, if you have a buyer that's looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you can filter for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Unit counts. I mean, the whole shebang. If you're driving, the steps you can take is you would hit the arrow button at the top right to lock into your location. You would then
my location for my browser was turned off. I need to.
That's all right. And then you would press, there'd be a start driving button in the bottom, and you would press start driving, and then you would just get going.
Now we have a feature coming out that's for planned routes. You'll learn more about that on Monday.
Oh, tell them about it. I'm excited about that.
I have it on my phone, but so basically what you do is you say free drive mode or planned route mode. And this is for professional or enterprise. And this is where you go and say planned route. You can choose from a list you've already built, whether that's organic through List Engine, if you've bulk uploaded leads, or you can actually create a list of your own. And it looks literally just like this with the filters and the presets. So you can just press it and then it's going to say, 60 leads in this route. You press start and it's going to tell you turn right on South Badada Street and your property will be on the left. And you can, there are different voices, by the way. You can actually preview the property even before you get there to see if it's something you want to. Now you may be saying like, why do I need this? Why don't I just go driving for dollars? A lot of you and a lot of people end up pulling lists and then to just see if there's added distress to them, you drive to go look at the property. And also this is a great way to connect with neighbors. Maybe you see somebody in the front yard, you can be like, hey, I'm an investor. Do you know anything about this property over here? So it's just a really cool feature. It is not available for your deal finders yet, but we do have a workaround that I will have a video on that you can use to get some of your drivers to use this feature that's coming. And then
I have a question.
Yes.
Can I delete some of these like gibberish presets? Is that
Yes, I believe you can in settings.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, I understand that completely. David also has on here, you see these green lines, these are your routes and you can zoom in, zoom out, but you can see what areas you've actually driven. Your drivers can see this as well. Super helpful when you're driving. So you don't go driving over the same areas, except for if it's like yellow and red, that means that it's been a while. So you might want to go check up. One of the places I drove today, the house actually on Google Maps looked really nice and I drove to it. It did not look really nice. So glad I drove to it because I wouldn't have known. And it was the opposite for another one. One looked really crappy on Google Images and then I went to it and it was really, really nice. So that's a buyer's postcard. I know Rochelle said that in the chat. You guys can send buyer's postcards. We have a video on that as well that you guys can check out on the YouTube channel. Am I missing anything?
Actually, Michael Warden said, can you do that narrative voice again, please? I want to get the full experience.
Ah, yes. Well, you have the down under, turn right on do. And then we've got we got all sorts. We have British. I mean, there's like literally 7 different accents you can choose from. And you all will get to see me play around with those in the videos because I have a little too much fun.
Thanks for making that fun.
Yes, you're welcome. Leads tab. So I just made a video on how to use our free CRM. If you do not even have our free CRM yet, just go do it. I have a quick start guide that's coming out that tells you just the basic. Come in here, import your list that you already have, get it in here. We are making a beefy CRM this year, just a real monster of a thing. So get in here, load your list. You can see it right here. David can go through really quick and be like, oh, that looks too nice. Not interested. Or that looks perfectly disgusting. Love it. And then you can go in, see different things. You can add a note. You can tag people. David's doing all sorts of goodness. And then also coming to you on Monday, another surprise. You guys are just follow us along. This journey is going to be magical. I love that you take pictures of every house. I wish all of them were straight. Ah, look, and adds a little smiley face for a cushion. And you guys can see the activity in here too. If David, if you want to flip on that detailed view, I'm not sure if anything's going to really show.
This one?
Oh, no. Right there at the bottom right where it says detailed view in the notes section. Right at the bottom corner, go to enter note here and then go over to the right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Here's
And
the detailed view down here, guys.
It's really tiny. But if you turn that on, you can see every little thing. Like Martin used a skip trace on this. You can see everything that they do, anyone does through this. There's Georgie. Then you have your list and your tags. I know that Robert kind of talked about that. Your tags are what your drivers and what you can use to help also sort through your leads by putting if there's stuffed mailbox, tall grass. I interviewed a guy today and his son, his 10-year-old son, does driving for dollars. And he said his favorite thing is seeing tarps on the roof and seeing just the nicest, crappiest house on the block.
Oh yeah. So I got my tags and I've got them set up for biological growth. I know tarp on the roof is definitely one of those.
You taught me handicap ramp too. That's a good one.
Handicap ramp's a huge one because I was first brought on to the idea because Frank Cava from Cava Properties, they do 400 properties a year on the East Coast. He looked back at his data and he saw that 25% of their deals had a handicap ramp. They weren't even looking for it. It's just how it worked out. And a lot of times it's somebody that's got a home that's, and not a new one, like one that's been weathered for years. That means that, they probably are going to need to move out of their home at some point because they need to go into a nursing home and the family's not going to know, they're not going to want to fix up that house before they sell it. So those handicap ramps are really great indicators. You guys should add everything with a handicap ramp, in my opinion.
No, 100%. Yeah, so the leads list honestly is a beast of a thing because you can do so much in it to organize your leads. Again, I know we just dropped a lot on you, but go into YouTube for tutorials or join the trainings. Happy to go through these again. The driving tab is your street engine. So this is the driving for dollars. So what a lot of you know DealMachine as is the driving for dollars. So in your driving tab, this is where all of your routes lie. So if you are on basic, you don't get the live route planning, but tracking your routes is still really important and it does still live here for you. David, you can talk to some of the benefits of tracking that and everything.
Yeah. So actually, what are the benefits? Here's what I do. Let me just show you what I do. That might be easier.
Love it.
So I pay for drivers. I want to make sure they're doing the right work because otherwise I'd be wasting my money. So there's a few aspects that go into that. Here it is.
Really quick, Ross. Yes, it is easier to use the Google Photos, but sometimes they have like a tree in the front of them because the Google image has weird things. So it is better to, if you do have the time to actually take the picture.
Totally. And if you get a postcard that has a Google photo, it looks like a robot put it together. But if you get a postcard that has a photo from your cell phone, you can absolutely tell the quality difference and they will know you're a real person that's local, that's actually been by their street, and they're going to take you seriously and give you that call back in front of whoever sent them a Google postcard, in my experience. So this is what I do every week. I'm about to do this tomorrow with my drivers. So every driver has 2 columns, hours and leads. Julie and Elena are on Tarek Al Musa's team. I manage them as well. But anyway, so Anthony says he did 30 hours. So what I do is I pull up this graph because I pay him by the hour. And then I switch it over to time driven. There you go. Anthony Molina. And I would do a custom date range to select like the last week. Okay, so then I can tell 46 hours, he went overtime. Our contract says max 40. So I'm going to be paying him for 40. The other thing he needs to do is, it's not a surprise because we review this every week, so if he worked extra, I'm not sure why he did that, but anyway, I make sure they add 12 properties per hour. So I say 365 is what he said. And then I just double check it here with him on the video chat. We do this in real time with everyone on the same phone call. And so then I look at number of properties added. And to do that, I actually go to the leads view. I filter it by added by. And then I do date added last 7 days. And to get the total, I click this right here and it's 575. So what I want to do is I want to take 575 divided by 40, because remember 40 is my max hourly that I said that I can commit to paying. 575 divided by 40 hours, that's 14 an hour. That's great. It's pretty close to 12. It's good enough for me. What I don't want to see is, I don't want to see Anthony putting in 40 hours, but adding 30 properties an hour. Because I know I probably don't want to buy properties in areas where there's every property is run down. So that's an indicator to me to be like, Anthony, I don't think you're in the right area, because the areas I want to invest in, you probably can't find 30 in 1 hour. You get what I'm saying? So these numbers help me give them feedback and ensure that they're in the right type of areas. And if he's on the low end, like 4 properties an hour, again, that's not worth paying for. And he knows that he needs to hit at least 12. That's my guidance for them. So that's the type of feedback that I deliver to them. And these metrics help me do that. And that's why I put together this scorecard. If you don't have drivers, this could be kind of the way that you keep your own self accountable, or set your expectations for yourself, as well as a starting point. Oh, sorry, I killed the screen.
That's all right. No, that's a great, and with tax season coming up too, you guys can do this for deductions for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. So to that point, you can just download, well, first of all, you could select last year and figure out how many miles you drove. And then like the government tax deduction rate, I think it's like 50 something cents per mile. So then you could directly deduct that from your taxes, I believe. And that's how you would handle that. I don't deduct it, since my drivers are contractors, they deduct it themselves. So if you're hiring drivers, you definitely want to tell your drivers to do that.
And you guys, this is also where you recruit drivers. So Robert and Catherine have our enterprise plan. So you actually can go to the drivers tab, and there's a landing page that actually it's a training portal, and you just send the link to people who to add to your team, and they actually go through this training portal that you set up, and then they go through all the things that you don't have to walk them through with DealMachine. So it saves you time. Here's Josh going to talk here in a half a second. And you can put your own videos in here as well. That's what's really cool, is you can customize this.
Yeah, there's more than the greeting video. Once you get them in, you can turn on all these training videos that we've done for you on welcoming them, describing how they're going to be paid hourly per property or per closed deal, the types of distress you want them to look for. And these are a few examples.
Yeah, this is a really, especially if you're growing your team, big plus when signing up for enterprise, and a great recruiting tool. But this is also where you can see who is on your team. And even if you're on, basic, you get 1 driver, professional, you get 2. This is where you would find them. Going down to the list engine. Vroom, vroom. So building a list, really easy, honestly. It's super easy. You can type in a zip code, the city, you can draw over a specific area, which, by the way, the route planner I was talking about, this is exactly what it looks like. I mean, and what's so nice is if I'm in a neighborhood and I don't want to drive all the way out in one zip code, I can just draw over that, like the 2 blocks that I'm in, to see if there's anything. And then you can actually, David's going down, you can name your list, smart list, huge. Anything that doesn't match your criteria gets either pulled out or brought in every Monday. How nice is that? I mean, why wouldn't you toggle that on? And then you can sync your marketing. Make sure your marketing is set up to what you want it to be, though. I'm going to put that little disclaimer there.
Right. And then it'll give you a preview of how many properties it estimates are going to be in this list here. So I did my zip code and vacant.
Yep. Yeah. And all of your, even if you don't have list engine, all of your lists, organic any bulk skip tracing, anything are housed here. So even if you don't have list engine, this is where your list will be. Next is mailers. So I know Robert talked about the templates he likes. I showed you guys, this is the blocks. I have a picture of me, my boyfriend, and our dogs on it. I have gotten a call out of it. You can check the YouTube channel for that. But it has the picture of the house there, and on the back, there's David's nice mug right there. And you can customize this whole thing down to the colors, down to, you know, the wording. I like our wording, but you can also change it to read more like a letter and be very specific for your area. That seems to do really well. And then you can put this in a drip campaign, which means any of these you guys can put on repeat. If you have the campaigns feature though, you can change up the postcard each time. Whereas on the free version or the version that comes with everything, you can just have it repeating the same card. This gives you to where you can say 21 days, he wants to send it 2 times. Then the next one goes and it's a different postcard sending after 21 days. You can say 15 days. Talk to a gentleman today. He does 15 days, 15, 21, 30. Like you can customize the whole shebang. So that's a really big way to up your marketing, especially if you're planning on dropping a ton on marketing. This is a great thing to invest in to really just level up your game on that.
Mm-hmm.
And then signatures, everyone asks, where do I change my return address? Where do I change my phone number? It's in your signature. So you can do mailers drop down and go to your signature, add your picture in. I will tell you right now, David's face is perfectly cropped in this circle. That does not mean it's perfectly cropped in every single template. So preview the template before you send it. And then just adjust your picture. And this is where you would change, like I said, your return address. If you try to change it in your settings under your profile, it's not going to reflect on your mail. So you have to go to signatures to change this. If you're on enterprise, you get multiple signatures. And then, yeah, realtors, you can put your disclosure down at the bottom.
Yeah, you'd put your MLS identification number most likely. That's probably the only reason why people use this commonly, but it's there if you need it.
My campaigns is an add-on. It's $20 extra a month on any plan. Then we go to team. David, you want to go over that?
Yes, I definitely do want to go over that. So I'm the team leader and I have access to everything. I've got a lot of team members here, but they don't all have access to everything. So there's about 20 people that I have access to the CRM portion, which is like the leads view to see all of my properties. Street Engine is my drivers. So I've got like hundreds of people here because I've signed up a ton automatically from my Indeed job ad through the Deal Finder training in order to find my best drivers. So that's why there's so many here in the Street Engine. And then lists, I only have our internal team that has access to pulling lists because there's no reason to give anyone else that access. So you could invite somebody by email this way. They could get an invite. You can give them access to any part of DealMachine. Or again, this is how you could set up a driver page if you're on the Street Engine Enterprise to recruit those drivers. And that is right there.
Ross asked if DealMachine does SMS marketing.
Oh, yeah. We are going to start doing that on Monday. So 2 business days from now.
I wanted you to be the one. It's your baby.
Thanks.
Guys, it's gonna be awesome. Okay, going down, we're at team. What's next, David?
Oh, I got distracted reading the comments again.
That's okay.
Now I will go on to getting free leads.
Okay, this is something a lot of you need to take advantage of because so many of you are great and you tag us in your posts. Put your promo code for your friends. We give you money and we give them money.
Friends and you.
Yeah, you both get money. Use this promo code. If you each get one, there's no special person. You all are special. Give this promo code out. You get money. They get money. You get a handful of skip tracing. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And now settings.
Okay. Here's the settings.
Mm.
So your profile is just like your email and your name that you created your account with, and you can also upload your photo here, which would appear on your postcards as an option within your account in your company name.
Yep. Engines and add-ons. This is where I know someone asked about campaigns. This is where you would add them, as well as Street Pick, which is the Google pick, real time. No, not that. Sorry. Went back to the old way. Mail tracking, that would be here. And this would also show you just how many, like David's pretty close to his 50,000 in the CRM. So there will be a little woo, 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 woo when he gets really close. But he's
I was distracted because Michael Warden said you need to get an iPhone, Elise.
Ah.
Are you getting an iPhone, by the way? What's the story on that?
Yeah. So guys, I love my Android. So Josh Johnson is giving me an iPhone, but y'all need to bother him because he's been slacking on getting that in the mail. So Hannah did create us a Clubhouse though, because she does have an iPhone. So we have the handle DealMachine. So it's there. We will be on it. I promise you. If you know, I don't know when I'm getting this iPhone.
All right, let's keep going here. So these are your engines. You can view what products and services you have and add-ons as well.
Yes. Okay. And then, yeah, we'll keep moving along. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
And then when you go back to settings, just a couple really quick things. Your default mailing options are here. This is where you can set up if you want one postcard. Property tags, you can edit all of your property tags. So you can have some that show and some don't. You can create new ones. So David could take some of these away. If you want your drivers just focused on like 2 of them, you could make it to where only 2 show. They can't tag anything else and they have to do that. And then if you go back,
I had tall grass and boarded up windows hidden, but I really would like to add those back.
So David just enabled them again. And then badges, promo codes. These badges are phenomenal. I love them. I helped make them, that's why. But promo codes are great. That's where your friends would put in their actually, they should put that in when they first sign up. And if they don't, you send them the sign up video that's on our YouTube channel and I tell them where to put it. You can do stop all sending, automatically send mailers. I'll tell you guys right now though, I would err on the side of not automatically sending mail, just so that you can regulate a little bit more and know what your budget is. I'm just going to say that, being very transparent. And then there's dark mode, which I love, but it's horrible with tutorials, but it helps so much with your eyeballs. So definitely do dark mode. Okay. This thing right here, open page on app start. Definitely don't ignore the dashboard, but I'll tell you right now, if you're driving for dollars, if you're using us for Street Engine, I would put it on the map, because I've tried to quick draw my DealMachine app, and if it's not on the map, like I start fumbling around. So this is a great way to put that default on there so it opens up to what you want it to. Okay. Amy found David on Clubhouse. Guys, I need to get up with it. I saw Grant Cardone on there. Gary V made a whole thing about it, and I was like, gosh, dang it. Tell Clubhouse to make it for Android.
The next feature, or the next part of the settings menu right below it, is the feature request.
And that, look at that. We listen to that for sure. Look at that text. That biggest one coming to you. You guys are like the first ones that really like know right now. So this is exciting.
That's right.
And just those of you, just so you guys know, for the SMS that's coming, it's all compliant with everything. The do not call list. I mean, David, our CTO has done an amazing job with it. So I'm really excited for you guys to start with it and get going.
Greg, you would not just get one number, you would get 30, minimum of 30 numbers for SMSing through DealMachine.
And they would route back to the number that you put in. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I thought that too. All right.
What else should we look at? Help and support. You guys
Amazing.
heard about Rochelle, you've heard about Joy. If you want to talk to somebody, this is where you do it. Right here under start new conversation.
I will say too, again, I know I'm biased, but our YouTube channel, if you think that there's a question or you have a question, go to YouTube, go to DealMachine, type in the little search bar for what you might be looking for. I promise you, if it's not there, I need you to get on Facebook and in the DealMachine community group. And I need you to tell me, Elise, you do not have this video. I need you to make this, and I will make it.
Awesome. Any final thoughts on the software demo?
Play around with it. It's a lot. It's so much, but it's so, once you, like Robert said, once you become a master of it, like you can scale this like Robert and Catherine have done. So, and we're here to help you with that, with any questions. And I just thank you guys for all coming to this webinar and sticking with us on a Thursday night. And really enjoy seeing all of you and getting to know you guys.
Absolutely. I loved everyone who especially joined on the call. I know, Amy, you're still here with us. Thank you so much.
Amy, your hair be looking good, girl. I just gotta say that too, man.
For sure.
Thanks, guys. So excited to talk to y'all, and we will see you in 2 weeks, but I'll be having some lives throughout the week that I'll be posting. Don't forget to add to our community group because it's posted there as well as on our YouTube channel.
All right. Hope you guys have a great night. Thanks, Andrew, for the love. We really love helping you, and we appreciate you. And I hope you guys have a great night and happy deal finding.
Happy deal finding.
Thank you.